Welcome to my build of the king size with the oversized headboard bed. It's a very tall headboard, 6.5 foot tall, and we tufted it, a diamond pattern with the wings. Here's a shot of the wings using 2x6 and a 1x6 screwed together. It gives it a lot more strength and a little more thickness for the material. And it is we did use a fairly light plywood. I think it's a 5/16. Started drilling, setting out our pattern, measuring 10 inches high between each of the diamonds, and then 8 inches wide on the diamond pattern. So I've got the grid lines using the chalk line, and then between each of the rectangles, I lined off to where the center point would be for another hole. So proceeding to drill almost 100 holes here. I think the bit size, if I had to do it again, would be a lot bigger. It made it a little more challenging to find the hole with the needle, with the quilting needle. So there you see some chalk lines. Then we proceeded with the foam, used a queen topper, and then you actually used a piece of pipe to do the circles through the foam. That allows the buttons to sit down more flush, closer to the plywood. Then we got our batting using spray adhesive to secure that in place. Get it nice and laid down, stretched thin. Then along the edges, you want about a 3 or 4 inch overlap on the material. So here I'm kind of smoothing out the edge so it won't be so thick where the overlap section is. And this is our first build, by the way, and thanks to a lot of advice and a lot of other YouTubers. ALO is one of the prime ones that we got a lot of this information from, and he's definitely a professional. And here we go to the button making stage. You use the fabric, cut little circles out. You order the button kit along. It comes with the tool, little plastic pieces to secure them together. We did decide to use some E6000 glue because we don't want these buttons coming apart after it's installed. So I actually used a socket to push down instead of the little plastic piece that they had with the kit. So we got all the circles cut out ahead of time. You can see some buttons on the left where we've already finished. And here I actually used a clamp to press the buttons together, and it worked really well. Sometimes it would get off a little bit and you have to pull it apart and then just punch it again, or sometimes just punch it twice to get it firmly seated, but they were solid. And then here we are putting the vinyl on. Got a few buttons already done, a few rows, and it was pretty tricky trying to get the seams lined up. There's supposed to be, I guess, little folds between each of the buttons, but it's kind of difficult. And here I am fighting to find the hole, like I said, about finding a hole with the needle. So I definitely would go with a 1/4 inch or larger hole.
Let me fold it before you pull, okay? See?
Pulling it through, and pull the string through, and using a stapler. My assistant was pushing on the button while I secured these in place with the staple gun. And if you have an electric stapler, I recommend that. It really got old doing over 100 buttons, or just under 100 buttons. And the material we joined together and learned that from one of the YouTubers, ALO. You punch your hole through. You have one edge of your material that you punch the hole through, and you draw like a arch between them. And it, like I said, there's some videos that show you all how to do that. It wasn't as hard as I thought it was, but it really helped us out immensely. So both sides we completed our buttons from each edge and worked towards the middle and got our patterns cut. You have a little arch of a flap that actually gets tucked under. You gotta just work with it. Sometimes we ended up having to punch an extra hole more than we would like, but it's, for our first time, I think it came out real well. So here is the side panels covered with foam and batting, and these 2x4 blocks I had to use the reason I had those as opposed to mounting them directly to the bed frame is that the mattress overlapped the bed frame by maybe an inch. Plus we needed room for the covers to tuck in. So that's why these blocks I mounted on there to give it some extra spacing. The frame we did buy already built. Here it is with the side panels finished. The footboard we did tuft, but here's the headboard attaching the wings to the headboard. We even put some fabric on the back to cover it up, make it look pretty, even though nobody sees it. The frame here being mounted, I use a 2x4 on the back between the two uprights to give it a more stability and support, and overall it came out pretty darn good. So the cost of the materials, and I'll post this down in the description of the list of materials, for the bed without the mattress was about $465. With mattress we're at a little over $800. So I think we're going to be definitely very happy. We've already slept in it a couple nights and it is wonderful. It's very stable. So good successful project. Thanks for watching.